Conscious Leadership Podcast, the human side of leadership, where consciousness meets practical business leadership. The podcast dives into real challenges managers face, from team motivation to navigating change. Discover actionable insight, proven strategies, and inspiring stories to help you lead with clarity, authenticity, and impact. Whether you are an SME owner, a team leader, or simply passionate about conscious leadership, this podcast will equip you with the tools to build stronger teams, foster trust, and achieve sustainable success. Tune in, lead consciously, and make a difference. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Conscious Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Boris Nedved. Today's episode is more than a reflection. It's a reframe of the very architecture of leadership, the leadership that we know, that we grew up with, that is out there. And I want to show you what it means when I say that conscious leadership doesn't just elevate old models. It leaves them behind. It leaves them behind completely. This episode draws from my recent white paper, Quantum Leadership versus Traditional Leadership. And in that work, I outline why the leadership model that once promised stability, performance, and control, these models are now the very structures creating misalignment, disengagement, and burnout. Why? Because the world has changed, because the business has changed, and most importantly, humans have changed. And we can no longer solve today's energetic, emotional, and systemic challenges using these yesterday's linear, mechanical thinking, ways of operating, ways of leading, ways of commanding. If you are living and leading in a VUCA world, VUCA meaning volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, and finding that the more you push, the more resistance you feel, then this is your signal, your own inner signal to stop pushing and to start tuning. This is the episode where leadership stops being about hierarchy and starts being about field dynamics. So let's begin with the core shift. Why conscious leadership is quantum. Traditional leadership, as we know it, is built on Newtonian physics. Linear cause and effect, rigid hierarchy, command and control. This model was optimized for predictable outcomes and incremental growth. It was designed for factory floors and top-down systems, not for the fluid, networked, multidimensional organizations that we see nowadays. No, we don't live in that world anymore. We are operating in a quantum world, which is dynamic, entangled, and emergent. A world where certainty is a myth, where complexity is the norm, and where humans no longer fit neatly into the silos and structures of the outdated system. That's why leaders today feel stretched, fragmented, disillusioned. They're operating in a quantum landscape, using tools built for an industrial one. The friction you feel isn't personal, it's structural, it's systemic. And quantum leadership is built on different rules. Rules that reflect how systems actually operate in nature and in consciousness. It acknowledges that business is no longer a machine. It's a living system. We're all human beings living in there. And that leadership isn't about perfecting control. It's about facilitating coherence. At the heart of quantum leadership are two key quantum physics principles. First one is superposition. It's the ability to hold multiple possibilities, perspectives, and timelines all at once. This is not indecision. It's agile presence. It's the capacity to stay open while the right path reveals itself. It's not pushing, it's not forcing. And the second one is entanglement. The truth that every part of a system is interconnected. And changes in one ripples across the whole. Leaders who understand entanglement no longer treat people, departments, or problems in isolation. They sense the so-called, I would call it web. This isn't poetic language. It's how real leadership energy works in today's world. Most likely worked in the old days already, but new science gives us new ideas, new insights. And in this model, leadership isn't a position. It's a resonant frequency. The more attuned you are to your own truth, the clearer your own signal becomes. And teams don't wait to be directed. They respond to this energetic coherence, to your energetic exposure. And when they feel it, they move. And strategy doesn't descend from the C-suite. It emerges from and through the alignment and collective sensing. It's not delivered. It's revealed. It comes from the inside. You're not leading just processes or goals. You're leading fields of energy, fields of human beings. And you are influencing coherence, creating space for insight, and facilitating flow. You're no longer a controller. You're like an energetic conductor. And fields don't respond to control. They respond to frequency. And that means that a leader's job is not to push harder, but to tune more precisely to the field. And this is why conscious leadership is inherently quantum. It requires a complete upgrade in your internal operating system. It comes from you. It's in you, and it requires you to shift your entire frame of reference from force and pushing to frequency, from control to coherence, from predictability to presence, and from performance to resonance. It's not just about leading differently. It's about becoming someone new while staying aligned with who you are and who you have always truly been, truly inside you. Let's bring it now into the body, the business, and the board or meeting room. This is where theory becomes practice. Because quantum leadership isn't just a concept. It's a felt experience. It's not something you apply to others. It's something you embody first. You don't lead from intellect alone. You lead from your full nervous system, from your breath, from your sensations, from your energy. And here's the breakthrough. When you shift internally, your field shifts externally. The way you walk into a room changes. The way people respond to you changes. You have examples, think of it. When you're in a good mood or in a bad mood and you walk into a room, how that influences. And you stop managing behavior and start influencing coherence. In quantum leadership, your body is no longer a passive container. It's your primary instrument. The leadership field starts with you. When your nervous system is regulated and you are calm, your team's system syncs to your calm. When you breathe consciously, others exhale. When you pause before speaking, the field, the people, the team listens. This is merged science and somatic. At Human in the Center, we use tools that go far beyond surface level coaching. Human Design BG5 to map your energetic architecture, how you are designed to lead. Where do you take in pressure that doesn't belong to you? What is your unique way of making aligned decisions? The pulse and coherence diagnostics to assess the invisible field dynamics in your team. Where are the energetic leaks? Who is amplifying alignment? Who is fragmenting or disturbing it? And the resonance scanner to track how people feel around your leadership, even if they can't articulate it. Because your frequency precedes your words. You expose it before even a word is spoken. Traditional leadership development focuses on behavior and skills. Quantum leadership focuses on signal and state. Can you hold polarity without collapsing? Can you sense when a decision feels aligned, even if it's not popular? Can you regulate yourself so that you don't outsource your leadership to urgency? The best part? It's really not theoretical. It's testable. You can walk into a meeting, shift your state, and watch the team respond differently. That's the quantum effect in real time. The most powerful thing you can do for your team is to show up as regulated, resonant, embodied leader. And the rest will follow. The rest will follow from there. This is how we can lead and should lead and do lead in today's world. Not with louder voices or harder pushes, but with deeper presence and cleaner frequency. When you become the tuning fork, the field harmonizes around you. Welcome to the somatic science of leadership evolution. If the last part brought quantum leadership into the body, now let's take it into the collective field, into how teams, organizations, and cultures organize themselves, beyond the traditional pyramid. Let's be honest, org charts are useful for structure, but they say very little about the influence. They show reporting lines. They don't show relational dynamics, not trust flow, not coherence. In traditional leadership, the assumption is simple. Hierarchy drives outcomes. The person at the top creates the strategy, and everyone else executes it. It's linear, logical, and rigid. In a quantum organization, influence is not top-down. It's entangled. It flows where energy is clean, where presence is coherent, and where trust is felt, not assigned. And this is the paradox of quantum teams. They may look unstructured, especially to leaders that grew up in the old system. But beneath the surface is a powerful order, one based on coherence, resonance, and frequency alignment. So what does it mean in practice? It means that someone without formal authority can still stabilize the energy of a room. And it can be the secretary that walks into a boardroom meeting. It means that team members don't just respond to instructions. They respond to how those instructions land in the field. It means that leadership is a distributed field. It's not a title. Anyone aligned with purpose and clarity can become a node of coherence, a leader in that sense. In quantum organization, culture is not declared. It is a transmission. Authority is not imposed. It is recognized. And alignment is not forced. It is felt. It's felt if it's right. So how do you lead in such an environment? You shift your focus from driving performance to cultivating coherence. You start asking things like, what energy am I bringing into this space? What's the hidden conversation beneath the spoken one? What's trying to emerge in this field, in this group, in this team, in this situation? And how do I support it? And then you realize leadership is really less about pushing people and way, way more about becoming undeniably aligned so that others naturally calibrate to your frequency. And this is how culture evolves. Not through slogans or HR campaigns, but through energetic consistency. In a quantum organization, your presence is the policy. The people around you don't need more direction. They need more resonance so that they can tune in into a field that is right. They need you to lead from the inside out, from your inner core, so that their trust can grow, safety can expand, and performance can arise naturally. So the invitation here is possibly radical. Stop trying to control what's happening on the surface. Start tuning into the field, because that's where real leadership lives. This is the future of organizational evolution, and it begins with how you show up in the now. If you've made it this far, then you already know it. Something inside you is shifting. You've likely felt it for a while already, that the models you inherited no longer resonate, no longer work, that the strategies you have mastered no longer move people. They keep them aside, they push them away, and that the role you're supposed to play no longer reflects who you truly are as a leader. And that's not burnout, that's evolution. Quantum leadership doesn't require you to do more. It requires you to become more coherent, more tuned, more truthful to yourself. It's a shift in presence, not in pressure. It asks you to step out of the survival loop and into the creative field of possibility, to trade control for connection, to replace exhaustion with resonance, to lead not from habit, but from your source alignment. So here's your invitation. Let go of the script. Stop managing perception. Start calibrating to the truth of who you are and lead from there. Because the world doesn't need more perfect leaders. It needs present ones. If this conversation stirred something in you, then you can go deeper. Don't stop at insight. Take action. You can visit humaninthecenter.com, my website, to explore how you can tune your leadership to a higher field of coherence. And while you are there, you can download the free white paper, Quantum Leadership versus Traditional Leadership. It's out there. You can read it, and I hope you enjoy it and that you take something from it. And for me, it's a must-read for anyone ready to step into the future of conscious, energetically aligned leadership. Because the next level of leadership isn't about climbing higher. It's about resonating deeper. So until the next time, stay intentional, stay conscious, and keep leading with purpose from the inside out. Thank you for listening to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. Look forward to the next episode to come, and stay intentional, stay conscious, and keep leading with purpose. Until the next time, bye.